Okay, hello, this is Dr. Janes, and today I'm going to talk about, get some more light on this, a neat project for the 3D printer. It's a screwless gear heart, and it's on Thingiverse, and I'll probably put something in the above to tell you which number it is. And you can turn the gears, and the heart deforms. Oh my gosh, it's a little bit tough to turn the gears. I'll have to fiddle with it some. And oh wow. So I talk about how to build this thing. It's a neat 3D printer project. Maybe a good Valentine's project. It's late for Valentine this year, but maybe I'll be in the search engines for next year. Early, huh? So anyway, look at that. Gear heart. Anyway, I'll show you how to build this. Okay, so I think we've loosened this thing up a little bit, and I found if you twist a couple gears at the same time, it helps turn this guy, and there it is. Quite a crazy contraption. So stress reliever, whatever, free off of Thingiverse. Screwless gear heart. Okay, here we go. I think we've got all the parts finally printed out. It took me over a month to get them printed for free at the library. And looks like we have 4 big gears here, and we have 4 small gears, and they did a pretty good job of removing the build bottom part, but it looks like this one has not been broken away, so I guess I just want to tear that away. See, it starts to build, it puts down like a flat platform at the bottom to build the part upon, and you want to break that away when you're done. That just sticks the part to the build plate while it's printing it. Okay, and the gears looks like they came out pretty nicely. And here's the centerpiece right here. Ooh, it's got a bunch of holes in it, and we have these are the pins that hold it together, the screwless gear heart. And there's a big pin and a small pin, and it just prints one of those, and so I had to print this 3 more times to get a total of 8, 4 big ones, 4 small ones. Let's see if we can start assembling this. So I guess these pins, probably put the big one in the big hole, the big side, I guess. Unless it goes in the small side. Oh, well. This is quite a harder. Well, maybe if I have another part to push on it. Like I assume where the big gears go on the big flat side. So here's the bottom part. 1 gear. Wow, these are really not going easy. Let's take this and try putting it together. Force it really hard. Hopefully don't break it. Holy cow. Oh my god. This is really not going easy. Ouch. Okay, so that side popped into place, I think, but I didn't get the other side in yet. Let's see if we can get this thing put together. Holy cow. Without breaking it, maybe. This is not going easy. It definitely will not be coming back apart. Okay, let me work on this for a second. See if we can get this together. Okay, I had to press it on a soft chair, and it was not easy to get together at all. But it looks like it spins now. and it probably is not going to come apart. Okay, so hopefully I stuck that in the right place, because it is in there for good. So let me see, I'll see if I can try to get some other gears in the right spot. I'm going to have to maybe look at the directions, because I don't want to make a mistake on this. This is going to be impossible to take back apart. Okay. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is the top. It's got the dimple. It's the only gear like that it's got a dimple in. All these other ones are rounded out. So the pointy part's got to be at the bottom, and this has got to be the opposite side of it. So let's try to stick that in. And I'm going to assume that it takes these short screwless connectors. So we'll try to stick it together with that. And again, this is not easy. I'm going to have to fiddle with this. Okay. I don't know if this is helpful at all, but I found a soft chair where I could just kind of take the, see, can you see that? Let's see if we can zoom in. Just take the peg, because I don't want to damage the peg by pushing it against something hard, because these look like they could be damaged pretty easily. They're kind of flexible here. And it's only made out of thermoplastic. If I press down hard on the chair, I could force that peg into that hole. Anyway, just an idea. That's how I got the other one to work. Let me fiddle with it and see if I can get it together. Okay, anyway, here I was thinking of maybe getting some needle nose or something. I could only find some pliers. I could press that pin a little bit while I force it in. Oh, maybe that would help. These pins don't seem to be going very well. Okay, maybe I can just take the pliers and just hold the pin straight and force it really hard so it doesn't bend when I'm trying to stick it in. The pliers will help hold it straight. Try that. Let's see if we can get these pins in. Okay, so with holding the pliers and pushing it down on a chair, it looks like I got it part way in. And I believe this is the gear that goes in the top here, the opposite of the pointy part, so we'll stick that up here. So, see how that goes. Try to force this whole thing together. I'm going to have to set it down and press on it some more, I guess. Okay, looks like it's coming. Okay, I really had to press hard, but it looks like I got the top gear in, and it spins now. And the bottom gear. Okay. And we'll try to put another gear on, and this one's probably going to have to be aligned properly with the teeth, or if you don't get it aligned properly, it won't come out as a heart, and it's going to be really hard to pull those pins out. So we'll try adding another gear to this. Okay, so there's one large gear that's adjacent to this that is different than the other two, and looks like we mesh it up like that. It will create the side of the heart there. So I think that's where that one goes. So let's try putting a pin in for that one. Again, I found the pliers seem to work pretty well, so I'll hold the pliers and try to force it down. I've been pressing it down on that soft chair. Try to force it in and use the pliers to hold it straight. We'll see if we can force this pin in. Okay. Actually, the gear, since it's got all these gears around it, it's getting hard to press the pin down into it. So I figured I'd press it in from the gear I'm trying to put in first, and then try to use the gear to hold it straight while I press it into here. Make sure it's lined up right on the big face with the teeth up toward the top. I'll try to get this thing together. Oh God. And hopefully it doesn't pop into the wrong spot. Okay. Okay. So it looks like I got the gears meshed up in the proper orientation. It looks like it turns okay. Okay, so we'll try putting some more gears in, I guess. Might be easier to put the smaller gears in first, because the big ones will be easier to press in last. Okay, I just wanted to test fit the gears together to make sure that they fit. Okay, I'm having a lot of difficulty getting that other gear. It seems like it might be harder to align. This the final gear that goes on the other side, which is symmetrical, is easy to tell which way it goes because it's got circular patterns that will point up. So it's definitely got to go like that. So maybe we'll try to stick that gear on next, and we'll know that that one's in position right. And we'll go from there. Again, I'm using the pliers to hold these pins straight while I force them into this hole. And I'm going to put it down on a hard surface, or maybe that chair, and try to force that pin in. This is the short pin. Remember, short pins go with the small gears, and the longer pins here go with the bigger gears. So don't get them messed up because they're hard to pull out if you get them in the wrong one. Okay, I got this pin into this one fairly easily, and I like to try to twist it to make sure it's going to turn freely, because when you stick the whole thing together it's going to bind up probably if all the pins are tight. Okay, so it seems to turn somewhat freely on that pin. I'll try to stuff it in the hole in the centerpiece and see if we can get another gear in the heart. Okay, so like I said, this has got an upper side, and we'll orient it so that that upside is up and get all the other gears in place, because we want all the gears to be in the right tooth positions when we assemble it. Okay. Okay, and I did get it a little part way in, and I was able to, it was off a tooth, so I was able to kind of pull this out and get it in position. And let me show you how I'm pushing down on these things. I'm basically putting it on the chair, and then I'm pushing down with my full weight on top of here. So I had this gear across the opposite side to help push on it, because it is really, really difficult to push down. So we have the top of the gear pointing up here. Well, it's an proper orientation. And I'll just pop it the rest of the way in place. Hopefully, oh my god, I'm going to have to put it down to do that. Okay, now it's in place, and it looks like these two gears are meshing properly. And these two up here are meshing properly. So we have 4 in place and 4 more to go. Okay, there we go. Again, I'm just going to test fit these in place to make sure that they go where I think they should go, and make sure everything looks good when it's all together. This is kind of a weird shape, and so I think it will go together like that. So maybe I'll try to put one of these big ones on, and then I can force the little gear across from it in after I get a big one in. So we'll try that technique. Of course, the 2 last gears are identical because they go on either side. There's a certain symmetry to this gear heart. So we'll just choose one of these and choose a big pin, and we'll take our pliers, I think, and try to force it into the gear first. And I'm going to put it on a hard chair or something and try to force it in. Okay, see how that goes. Okay, so we got the pin in there and kind of made sure that it spins freely. We'll kind of line it up on here to make sure it's in the right position. And the outer extrema, see where that circle is going to kind of point out to make the other rounded part of the heart. And we'll see if we can force that in. Okay. Okay, I have it part way in, and I just want to make sure the teeth are lined up before I force it all the rest of the way in. But it looks like about how we determined it should be. So I'll just try to force that down, and hopefully this gear will be in place. Again, when we're forcing this, we don't want to push down on these other gears because that's going to put torque on them that could break them off. You want to press it on the centerpiece here, right in the center, straight down. you definitely don't want to put torque on the other gears. And I might need to find some kind of tool or something to kind of hold it straight and push it down, because it's really difficult. Here's another possibility. If you have a corner of a table, you might be able to put this part right on the corner so that you can press right down on the table really hard, and then you can put the gear on top and be able to press down directly onto the table without worrying about damaging the adjacent gears. So maybe we'll try that. Try pressing really hard. Okay, that seemed to work for that gear. Seemed to be able to get it in place, and I think it's close to where it's supposed to be. Maybe a tooth off, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. And maybe I'll try putting the other big gear on, since it's easier. And it looks like it will go like that. And then I'll worry about trying to get the two small gears on after that, and hopefully they will go in properly. Okay. And so I'll get a pin into this and fiddle with that. Oops. Again, here's how I'm getting these pins in. I'm holding them with the plier, and I'm taking this guy and pressing down really hard on that pin to try to get the pin into the hole, and holding the plier with my other hand. Okay, so we'll try to get that pin in. Okay, we got the pin in. And we'll just make sure it turns okay. And we'll try to force it now into the hole there. Gear should line up something like that, with the circle pointing out toward the edge here. And should mesh properly with the gears, so get it lined up properly. And we'll see if we can get that in. Okay, again, I got it most of the way in, and I'm getting the gears lined up before I push it all the way in, because it's going to be hard to pull it back apart. Okay, and let me push it the rest of the way and see how it meshes. Okay, so it looks like all the gears are kind of meshing up. It's kind of difficult to turn, but just got two more tiny gears to put in. Okay, and I'll see if I can get those in. I said I put the pin in one of them earlier, and I believe it goes in. Let me put one without the pin to make sure it looks right. And I think, okay, so it looks like putting the high point right there. See how it's got these circles and it's got the high point? Looks like that fits the flattest. Okay, so we'll try putting the one with the pin in right there. Okay. And as I said before, these things take a lot of pressure. I've been really putting my whole weight on this to try to press these things in. It looks like I'm going to have to press down on the other gears to try to force this one in, because there's not a good way to do this. Get these last couple gears in. Oh my god. You don't want to probably pinch your skin in between these gears when it pops in, because it's going to pop hard. Okay, so anyway, let me fiddle with that for a second. Okay, now I have it upside down. We'll try forcing it in this way. Maybe if I put it on a hard surface, it'll work better. Make sure the gear is lined up. And there. Okay. That one finally popped into place. Okay, one more gear to go. Okay, so here's the final product, and it looks like the gears, this tiny gears, maybe don't mesh up quite right, but it does turn. Look at that. Maybe I don't have them in the right position, but it's pretty neat. Gear heart. Okay. Okay, so here's where you search for the screwless gear cart on Thingiverse. I just did a search on that, and I believe this is the one that I downloaded, and it looks like all the same parts. Yep, same pins and everything. Okay, so there is where you can find it on Thingiverse. Thing 12208. Okay, so there's a URL. And so if you want to download it and print it out, there's where you can find it. Okay? Okay. Anyway, this is Dr. Janes, and thanks for watching. There.